In this video, we are going to construct a root locus. Actually, the given problem is a unity feedback control system has an open loop transfer function g of s equal to k divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Sketch the root locus. To construct a root locus, so first step we have to locate the poles and zeros in the ordinary graph. To locate a poles and zeros, from the given problem we have to find the poles and zeros. So this is the given open loop transfer function. From the open loop transfer function, numerator part is zeros, denominator part are poles. Therefore, poles of an open loop transfer function equal to, we have to equate this denominator into 0. So denominator s into s square plus 4s plus 13 equal to 0. So we know here we can separate this s and this quadratic equation. S will become 0. Then for this quadratic equation we have to find the roots. So to find the roots for a quadratic equation, we have to use this formula minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this is s square coefficient is a, s coefficient is b, constant term is c. We have to apply. So my b value is 4 minus b plus or minus square root of b square, b equal to 4 square minus 4ac, 4 into a value equal to 1, c value equal to 13 divided by 2, a value equal to 1. So we will get this. After that, after simplifying this, we will get s equal to minus 4 plus or minus square root of minus 36. So we know this we can separate into minus plus 36 into minus 1. So we know 36 into minus 1 is I square. So square root of 36 into I square equal to 6i. So we will get minus 4 plus or minus I 6 divided by 2. So we can take 2 from this outside, that will cancel with this 2. Finally we will have minus 2 plus or minus j3 or I3 we can say. We see already we find one root s equal to 0. Now minus 2 plus j3 second root or pole. Third pole is minus 2 minus j3. So now in this graph, so we have to mark poles by using cross mark. If it is 0, we have to mark by using round. So this is real axis, this is imaginary axis. Suppose, so now s equal to 0, it means we have to cross mark here. So this is a pole. Next pole. Second pole minus 2 plus j3. For example, this minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. So here 1, 2, 3. So in this graph we have to mark. So minus 2. So this is minus 2. Next plus j3. So this is plus. Therefore second pole will come here. So we have to mark cross. Then next third. X-axis is minus 2. It means real axis minus 2. Then imaginary minus 3. Imaginary axis minus 3. Therefore it will come here. So there are 3 poles here. So next step 2. To find the root locus on the real axis. So now we have to find the root locus. To find the root locus, left hand side of the real axis, this is the origin. From this we have to consider the left hand side. So this is the left hand side. So we have to take a test point, then we have to check. So in the test, suppose if I am going to take a test point here. So after this test point, right hand side, if odd number of poles and zero available means, we can say this test point or origin will come under the root locus. We see, now I am going to take a test point. After this test point, right side, there is only one pole. Therefore from this point to this point, it will come under root locus, because after this point odd number of poles. Suppose if I take this point also will come under root locus, because after this point in the right hand side only one pole. It means odd number of poles. Suppose if we take infinity point, infinity as a test point, definitely in the right hand side only one pole, that is odd number. Therefore entire negative real axis will be the part of root locus. Next, we have to find the angles of asymptotes and centroid. So to calculate the angles of asymptotes, the formula is plus or minus 180 degree into 2q plus 1 divided by n minus m. So n is nothing but the number of poles. M is nothing but number of zeros. From the given problem, number of zeros are no zero, therefore 0. There are 3 poles, 0, minus 2 plus j3, minus 2 minus j3. 3 number of poles. Therefore, n number of poles, n is number of poles. In the given problem, number of poles are 3. So we know 0, minus 2 plus j3, minus 2 minus j3. There are 3 poles. Here there is no 0. Therefore, m equal to 0. Simply we have to substitute n value and m value. Then we have to consider q equal to 0. So if we substitute, this term will become 0. 180 divided by 3 equal to plus or minus 60. Next angle of asymptote, we have to substitute the same thing, but q equal to 1. So we will get plus or minus 180 degree. Then we have to substitute q equal to 2. We will get plus or minus 300 because 2 into 2 4 plus 1 5. 180 into 5 divided by 3. So 3 here 6, 60 degree. 60 into 5 300. Similarly q equal to 3 plus or minus 180 into 2 into 3 6 plus 1 7. So 7 divided by 3. This is 3. This is 60. So 7 into 6 420. So we know, we see. So if we start at this point, so we can say 90 degree, 180 degree, 270 degree, 360 or again 0 degree. After this 420 means 360 plus 6 plus 60. It means 420 is this is the 420. Otherwise we can say minus 2 plus 60 degree. So we see already 160 degree, here also 60 degree. It means again if we use q equal to 4, 5, 6, the same thing will repeat. So up to this, when the repetition comes, we can stop at that point. So now, next we have to calculate the centroid. To calculate the centroid, we have to use this formula, sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by n minus m. Sum of poles are 1 pole, second pole, third pole. So we have to add this. Minus, there is no 0 here, therefore 0. Divided by number of pole 3, number of 0, 0. So if we add this, this is plus j3 minus j3. So minus 2 minus 2 minus 4 divided by 3. So minus 1.33 is the centroid. Actually, in the ordinary graph, we have to mark the centroid. So minus 1.3. This is the minus 1. So this will be the 1.333. This is the centroid. Next one is angle of asymptote. We have to consider the first finite angle. So plus 60 degree, minus 60 degree. So asymptote, from this point we have to take 60 degree, positive 60 degree. Then we have to mark. So this is the asymptote. Then in the negative side, minus 60 degree. So this is the next asymptote. In the ordinary graph, so we have to mark like this. The next step 4, we have to find breakaway or break-in points. So for that, so we have condition is derivative of k equal to 0. K is gain. So to find k, first we have to find the characteristic equation. It means, so to find the characteristic equation, we have to have closed loop transfer function. But we have been given open loop transfer function only. So from open loop transfer function, we can calculate the closed loop transfer function by using this formula. Closed loop transfer function C of s divided by R of s equal to G of s divided by 1 plus G of s into H of s. So we have to substitute G of s here, feedback, unity feedback, therefore 1. So now we have to take LCM. So we have to take LCM. We have to multiply this here. So then this term and this term are common, we can cancel. So we will have this. So this is numerator, this is denominator. So this is the characteristic equation. So now characteristic equation equal to 0. So we have to multiply this s inside. It will become s cube plus 4s square plus 13s plus k equal to 0. So now we will get k equal to minus of the entire term. Then we have to differentiate with respect to s. So this will become, we have to multiply this minus inside. It will become minus s cube minus 4s square minus 13s. So we have to differentiate k with respect to s. So it will become minus 3s square. This will become 2 into 8s, 8 minus 8s, 2 into 4s minus 8s minus 13. So we got derivative of k. So we have to equate that to 0 to find the breakaway or break-in points. We see this, we have to equate to 0. Then we have to find the s. This is your quadratic equation. This is a, this is b, this is c. S square coefficient is a, s coefficient is b. This is constant term. So from this we can find the roots. So we have to use formula minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a formula. So we have to apply b value here, then b value here, 4ac divided by 2a. Then we will get minus 8 plus or minus, this will become 64, this will become minus 156 divided by 2 into 3, 6. So you will get this. After that, if we simplify, we will get s equal to minus 1.33 plus or minus j 1.6. Now we have to substitute s into k. So we have to substitute this s. So we see, we can say s1 equal to minus 1.33 plus j 1.6, s2 equal to minus 1.33 minus j 1.6. So first we have to take s1, then we have to substitute into k. So we know k equal to minus of s cube plus 4s square plus 13s. We have to substitute s value into this equation. So first we have to take s1, then we have to substitute into this equation. You will get the answer will not be positive and real. If it is positive and real, we can say this s may be a breakaway or break-in point, but the answer will be negative but imaginary. Negative or imaginary. The condition is, if we substitute s value into k equation, we have to get positive and real. But for first s value, we will not get positive and real. Therefore, this s point is not a breakaway or break-in point. Then we have to take next s value. We have to substitute into same k. Again, we will not get positive and real. So therefore, we can say both s1 and s2 are not positive and real. Therefore, in this problem there is no breakaway or break-in points. So now step 5, to find the angle of departure and the angle of arrival. So to find the angle of departure, so we have to take a complex pole. So here we have to take a complex pole for angle of departure. For angle of arrival, according to the formula, we have to consider a complex 0. But in the given problem, it is having only complex pole. We know, so we can draw a, so we can consider this as an ordinary graph. Here this is the one pole. Second pole is minus 2. Here minus 2 plus 3. This is the second pole. Third pole is minus 2 minus 3. So now what we have to do? So we have to take a complex pole. So this is the complex pole. So now we have to connect with all other poles. We see, if we connect, this is a pole. So now here there is a pole. So according to the formula, 180 degree minus. So now 180 degree minus sum of angle of vector to the complex pole A from other poles. We see sum of angles. So from this complex pole, what is the angle with this pole? Plus from this complex pole, what is the angle with this pole? That is the actual meaning of this one. Therefore, now here the angle is 90 degree. Therefore, 90 degree plus here the angle is, now we have to find this angle. So we cannot directly find this angle. We see, if we know this value 180 minus this angle equal to this angle. Therefore, to find this angle, what we have to, we see, we can consider this as a right angle triangle. So from this we know the theta equal to tan inverse of, what is the opposite side value? Opposite side value equal to 3. Therefore 3 divided by adjacent side value equal to 2. 3 divided by 2, that is the theta value. Therefore here 180 degree minus tan inverse of 3 divided by 2. This is the theta, this is theta 1, this is theta 1 plus this is theta 2. So now 180 degree minus 90 plus 123.7. If we solve this, we will get this. So now finally angle of departure equal to 180 minus this angle equal to minus 33.7 degree. It means angle of departure equal to minus 33.7 degree. Next, to find the crossing points on the imaginary axis. It means the root locus, already this negative real axis is a part, negative real axis is a part of this root locus. Now we know from the procedure how many number of open loop holes are available, that many number of root locus will be there. Already this negative real axis is a one root locus. Another two root locus is, this root locus will start at this point or this pole, with 33 degree angle it will go like this. Another third root locus will start at next complex pole with 33 degree angle, it will go like this. Therefore, so we have to find the crossing points on imaginary axis. These two root locus definitely will cut in the imaginary axis anywhere else. Therefore, to find the crossing points on imaginary axis, so we have to find the, from the characteristic equation we have to find the omega value. So to find the crossing point, we have to substitute S equal to j omega into this equation. So therefore, from this equation, j omega cube plus 4 into j omega square plus 13 j omega plus k equal to 0. So now we see, from this we know already j square equal to minus 1 into j here. Therefore minus omega j here, minus omega cube j here, minus 4 omega square here, plus 13 j omega plus k equal to 0. So now what we have to do? We have to separate imaginary value and real value. So here imaginary are minus omega j plus 13 j omega. Real values are 4 omega square plus k equal to 0. So now, so we can take j outside. So therefore minus omega plus 13 omega minus 4 omega square plus k equal to 0. So now this is a imaginary part, this is a real part. This is imaginary part, this is real part. So now imaginary part equal to 0, real part equal to 0. Here we can consider 0 plus j 0. Therefore, so now imaginary part equal to, here imaginary part 0. Therefore minus omega cube plus 13 omega, this equal to here 0. Therefore minus omega cube equal to minus 13 omega. This and this will cancel. Minus omega square equal to minus 13. Minus minus will cancel. Omega square equal to 13. Therefore omega equal to plus or minus 3.6. So now real part, 4 minus 4 omega square equal plus k equal to 0. Therefore k equal to 4 into omega square. So now we have to substitute omega value here. Therefore k equal to 4 into omega square equal to 13. We can substitute here, 13 equal to 4 into 13, 52. It means at plus 3.6. So here at 3.6, this root locus will cross the imaginary point. Here at minus 3.6 the root locus will cross imaginary point, but at this point its gain value equal to 52. So now we are going to construct a root locus in the graph sheet. This is the asymptote. This is the asymptote. Actually this is centroid point. So from this point, from real axis, negative real axis, we have to take positive 6 and we have to mark this asymptote. Then we have to take angle of asymptote minus 60. Then we have to mark the dot line here by using scale. So after that, so we see this is, we already know this is a part of root locus. We already took a test point and we kept anywhere after this pole, and we found that if we check with any point in the negative real axis, everywhere in the right hand side there is only one pole. It is odd number of poles. It means from this point to 0 point to infinity point, it is a part of root locus. This is the first root locus. According to the given problem, there are 3 number of open loop poles. Therefore, according to the procedure, here 3 number of root locus will be there. Here this is the first root locus. Then next root locus will be started with a complex pole here. Then third root locus will be started at this point with an angle of departure. We know, we already calculated angle of departure equal to plus or minus 33.7. So here with this we have to take 33 point. Here we have to mark plus 33.7. Here also we have to mark 33.7. So now this asymptotes will be parallel. This root locus will be parallel with this asymptote, and this root locus will cross this imaginary part at a point. Then it will go parallel with this line and it will end at a infinity where 0 will be available. So we see here plus 33.7, here minus 33.7. So now crossing point we calculated. So this is the, now crossing point we know omega will equal to plus or minus 3.6. This is the crossing point. Therefore, so now this is 3.6. So this is the crossing point. So here this is 3.6. This is the crossing point. Therefore, it will go through this crossing point parallel with this asymptotes. Here this root locus branch will also go parallel with asymptote at crossing point minus 3.6. So according to the given problem, there are 3 root locus, 1, 2, 3. So this is the final root locus for a given problem. So we can mark the centroid is 1.33 minus 1.33 centroid. Then this is asymptote. This is also asymptote. Here this is root locus 1, root locus 2, root locus 3.